Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel and welcome to Wilson DYNAPOWER Max driver. I've got this in a 10.5 degree head. I've also got the carbon driver and their new LS driver, their new low spin head. Those two are at 9 degrees, but with the power of the loft sleeve, I can crank them up if I want to make this an apples to apples comparison. But when it comes to the full testing at the back end of the video, guys, when I test this from all over the face, get a good heat map of exactly how good this driver is from weird and wonderful hits. But I'll be doing the tests, all the 3 different swing speed as well, the 80, 95 and 110 miles an hour, all at the same loft. Technology wise, in this Wilson DYNAPOWER Max driver, this is a titanium head. There is no carbon in this whatsoever, like there is in the carbon and very much so the LS driver. We have got a back weight which is flippable. It's a 12 grand back weight which is flippable. It says neutral at the moment because I've got it in the neutral setting, but if you just take that out and flip it around, it becomes more draw biased. Most other manufacturers either have a sliding movable weight at the back there or a port system so you can unscrew it and put it in different parts of the head. We have a PKR 360 AI face, weird name, but it does have an AI driven variable face thickness to try and keep ball speeds up across the face. And again, we'll test that in the heat map to see how good this is at keeping ball speed up from interesting strike locations, we'll put it. Down by the golf ball, you can see this is the biggest of the 3, even though this one is 460, as is the carbon. So the golfer, when you hit this one, does look a very, very confidence aspiring lump behind the golf ball. Yep, that's going to be left side of fairway. Solid feel. You can definitely tell this is absolutely titanium and no carbon in it. Definitely a decent result. I'm near enough running out of fairway. Club head speed 107 miles an hour. Path and face are very 0-0 and strike is pretty good too. 270 yards of carry basically at spin of 2-3. That's going 38 yards in the air and 41 degrees ascent angle, so it's doing a really good job. In the summertime, that's going to bounce down there. Again, this is movable. You can move it up and down in loft, and they do come in different lofts as well if that doesn't suit your launch parameters. But feeling is good, performance is good. It really is a decent driver. I'll be interested to see how well it does off miss hits, because every driver works well out the middle, and so that will be interesting to test it when you don't hit 5 mil high and deliver 0-0 delivery. Again, it just feels solid. Like, it's really nice hitting a titanium driver again. Everything is nowadays carbon, so have that sound is quite nice. Club head speed 108 miles an hour. Club path wasn't quite as good that time, slightly across, but face is good. Face is basically 0. Strike wasn't bad at all. 5 mil toe, 2 mil low, slightly low on the face, about quarter of an inch or so, different to the previous one. But effectively that does mean it's carrying 269, no difference to the other one, but it's spinning up at 2.7. So again, when you're talking about hitting higher and low on the face, you are going to see a certain amount of vertical gear effect. It sounds good, performs well. Why aren't more people playing Wilson drivers? Really, I don't know why. These are less expensive than the really expensive brands. They do come in different shaft options as well. Yes, they're probably not as prevalent in the fitting world, etc., as they could be, which obviously is a reason why not many more golfers have these in their hands to test, etc. But really, guys, if you can, test these Wilson drivers out. They're really very good. I like the titanium sound. I like the fact that it hit down the fairway. It's just good. Now that is not a plumb on strike, that's slightly high toe, but it's down the middle basically and running out of fairway. This is good. Club path and face to path are very 0-0, slightly toey strike we'll call that, 17 mil toe, 6 mil high. See, I'm not a robot, I do miss hit from time to time and it's done exceptionally well. That's 8.5 yards offline, 281 carry. It's really good. It launched slightly higher, spin slightly less, going back to that roll and bulge. That's the whole idea of it. Hit high in the face as opposed to launch it high with less spin. Hit low on the face, launch it slightly lower with a bit more spin. It's doing really good. Where's that tee gone? Hiding behind the quad. It's just good. Like, Wilson, you've made a really, really good driver. I'm really interested to see what happens when you don't hit out the middle. I really am. I mean, from toe, it's done really well. I mean, I can feel that. As soon as I hit that, I thought, yeah, that's nowhere near middle. And it's just basically gone straight and long. It's really good. give it another go, because I want to hit this at 3 different swing speeds and also do the forgiveness test and see how good this thing is. Oh, it's my first leaguer. That's not right. Am I going to miss the... Oh, just. That was my fault. Left the face open. Club path 0.6 across. Face is 2 degrees open. There you go. So not only did I have a 2 degree open face, which is my fault completely, and the fact that I hit it 15 mil toe, absolutely my fault completely, it's done pretty well. It's not even 20 yards offline. Now that is a miss hit. That is a face open, a miss hit off the toe. It's done really well. Carried 264 yards, so spin is up because it is slightly low on the face and also an open face as well. And it's done pretty darn decent. It's hit fairway within reason. Again, that all depends how big your fairways are. Let's go give it one more hit. I enjoy this. Don't enjoy searching for tees though. Definitely gonna get the next set yellow or something like that. I'm trying to find them in a dark sim room. Right, let's go give it another last hit, because let's see if we can split the middle on the last one for a bit of fun. Oh, slightly low on the face. I want to boom that one as well. Oh, it's done really well though. I mean, that's what, 14 yards offline, 15 yards offline, and running out of fairway? It's done pretty good. 110 mile an hour clubhead speed. I tried to dial the speed up a little bit and get that bomb flight going with the path. Slightly from the inside, slightly closed and faced, trying to get that slight draw return, but hit low on the face. It caught it 11 mil low, 2 mil toe. Not bad, but unfortunately, I'm not going to get my perfect flight on that one. It's just going to spin up a little bit too much, yeah, 2,500. Launching at 13, which is not bad, but it done really well. It's 12.7 yards off of line at 294 yards in total. Doing really well. Right, let's go hit this a load of times all around the face. So I've caught a few on not necessarily middle at the moment, but let's go whack it from really weird and wonderful spots. Let's go see what kind of drop off we get from this new Wilson DYNAPOWER Max from extreme miss hits. Let's also go test it at 3 different swing speeds, 80, 95 and 110 miles an hour. Let's go see how good the Wilson DYNAPOWER Max driver really is. So to the interesting part of the video where we go test this driver at 3 different swing speeds to see how well it works when we start taking the speed away, and also see how forgiving it is from weird and wonderful hits using the unique heat map way of visualizing how well it does. On the screen you can see we've got the 3 different swing speeds and also the clubhead data underneath. We'll do the clubhead data in a sec with the ball data at the top. You've got the red, which is 80 miles an hour, the yellow, which is 95 miles an hour, and the blue, which is the full-on speed, 110 miles an hour. Let's go straight away, do the red first. A slower 80 mile an hour swing speed, a carry of 189 yards, peaking up at 21 yards in the air and descending at 30 basically degrees. 31 degrees is a nice and shallow descent angle. It's coming in literally like that. Total spin is 1900 RPM, so I am worried for that one, absolutely. Launching at 14.8 degrees. I would, even though this is done at 10.5 degrees and the 10.5 degree head, and all the LS and also the carbon is also done at 10.5 degrees if you're going to be watching these videos after this. And so I'll try to get a comparative of people when you're watching it can actually see the differences between the golf clubs. But 1900 RPM is rather low. Absolutely, I would get this golf club and put it up to the higher loft. It has got wiggle room in that loft sleeve, so you can actually move it up and down if you wish to. But on this one, absolutely, I would be putting the loft up to try and get the launch angle a fraction higher, but more importantly, the spin a fraction higher as well, because 1900 is dangerously close to that golf ball not having enough spin to keep it in the air, and then you won't have to worry about losing a little bit. You'll lose a bucket load when you start falling out the sky, knuckleball style. If you go to 95 miles an hour, the yellow, carry goes to 237 yards, peak height is 31 yards in the air, descent angle is 37.3. Really very, very good. Total spin is 2-2, 140 mile an hour ball speed. It is a 95 mile an hour's dream, this golf club. Just works so, so well. I can't pick holes in that delivery at all. Those ball dynamics are really very, very good and stable, and for the fact that you've got a descent angle under 40 degrees, that's going to be hitting the fairway and bounding down there as well. Really very good numbers. If you go to the full-on 110 or 109.4 mile an hour swing speed, the carry goes to 276 yards, peak height goes to 42, which is up there now. Descent angle at 42.6, and spin is actually pretty good. It's 2360 2. You've got club head speeds underneath 80.4, 95.2 and 109.4, so within reason there's your 15 mile an hour differences. All the attack angles are fairly close, club paths are fairly close, face to path are fairly close, and the all-important loft. 18.9, 18.7, 18.6, so within a 30 mile an hour difference, which is a lot, of club head speed, there is literally only 0.3 of a degree between the lot. So if you want to see how forgiving this golf club is, we have to look at the heat maps to see how well it does from off-centre strikes. The information that you're going to be seeing here is going to be held also on my website, www.askgolfnut.com, where the database of drivers is starting to get bigger and bigger the more that I do. We've got 50 or so plus irons on there at the moment where you can compare heat maps and advanced data and radar charts, etc., should you wish. But for this point of view, we're starting to add more and more into the driver database. So what you see on the screen there is the retention of ball speed heat map, otherwise known as the efficiency map that we use for the irons. The only thing you struggle with when it comes to a driver is that you cannot use the same efficiency map for a flat-faced iron for a driver, because the driver's got a curved face. And what I mean by is this: if you were to look at that, you'd see that it's the best driver on the planet. Manufacturers go on about the fact that we're trying to retain ball speed, we're trying to variable face thickness, we're trying to keep this, we keep that, and that's basically trying to keep as much ball speed from off-centre hits as possible. But ball speed's only a component of distance. How it launches and how it spins is by far more important than anything else. You can see that green goes all the way down to the bottom of the golf club, like really near enough topping it, it's still green. Now, why is that? Now, generally speaking, obviously that is nowhere near the middle, and so you are going to lose a little bit of efficiency because that is not in line with the sweet spot. But because of the fact it's got less loft, it does a really very good job of taking away deflection and still getting more ball speed. The problem is it adds more spin. And this is where you have to come away from sometimes understand the difference between variable face thickness and how well it does at keeping ball speeds up. And then you have to go into more of a distance factor idea. On the screen, you can see is a distance factor grid. Now, this is if you looked at the face on. At the top there, you've got from 0 to plus 30 on the left-hand side and minus 30 on the right-hand side. Right-hand side is the heel location, and on the left-hand side, plus 30 is the toe location. Again, we're looking at it face on. And of course, you've got up and you've got down, high on the face, low on the face, that kind of idea. You can see that right out of the middle, we lose obviously 0. That's the whole idea. But then you start moving away from there. You start losing distance. Now, this is not measured on ball speed. This is physically measured on how much distance you lose when you don't hit the middle. On the right-hand side, you can see the heel. It doesn't take long before you start going into the red, 10%, at about 19 millimeters heel. That's still a fair, decent hit off the heel, 3/4 of an inch heely, but you're losing about 10% of your distance. And of course, the further you go towards the heel, it gets worse. All golf clubs are like that. That's not a surprise whatsoever. What is a surprise of just how good this is off the high part of the face. It is really very, very good. You can go to 20 odds or so mil, very close to crown ball, and it's still only losing 2% of its distance, which is mighty impressive. That's because of the roll and bulge of the head. Effectively, at the top part of the head, you've got more loft, but what you'll get is vertical gearing, so you'll launch it high and low spin. If you look at the bottom part, when you go 25 or so mil low, you can see there that even though it was green in the original heat map, you can see on the distance factor map, you're getting to a point of where you're losing 7, 8, and 9%, give or take, on how low you go. And that is because of the fact that you might be having the ball speed off of the low part of the face, but you're going to get an increase in spin, and that spin is going to take some of the distance away. The interesting thing, though, is you can go all the way to around about 30 millimeters toe on this golf ball. I mean, it's 30 millimeters toe. That is a miss, and 0 mil, and you're losing around about 6%. 6% of your distance from 30 millimeters away from the middle is actually quite impressive. And if you actually put this on the golf club so you can physically see what it looks like, obviously when you put it on the golf club, it looks a much more red situation than it actually is, but you can really see a golf club being a driver's 100 and maybe 105 millimeters wide, which is quite a big face. And so, yeah, we're measuring from 30. But if you're going to start missing a golf club 40, 50 mil away from the middle, which is nearly like 2 inches or so, wow, that's a heck of a miss, and you need lessons rather than worrying about equipment. The heat map from the efficiency obviously makes it look like it's the most amazing driver on the planet, and it's not until you measure the actual distance factor you can see this driver is good or bad. It's actually pretty darn good. Conclusion on the Wilson DYNAPOWER Max driver. Looks wise first. It's a fairly plain, simple, black, shiny crown. It's got quite a decent looking sole to it, so when you're looking at the rack, it will attract quite a lot of attention because it does look good. But when it comes to the sound of this driver, it is a titanium driver. It is going to sound a certain way. I've got so used to the carbon drivers now, and I've used a carbon driver. Going to this, it's actually quite nice to hit a titanium driver, but it is still quite loud. Performance-wise, it works really very, very well. I think the butter zone on this one's going to be to like the mid to fairly slow swing speed, as long as you make sure you get the lofts right on this golf club. It is imperative as soon as you start taking some speed away that you get the right loft. The great thing with Wilson, they do offer this in multiple different lofts, so you're not going to be stuck with running out of adjustability on that loft sleeve, which is good. Forgiveness wise, it does mighty well. I mean, drivers, they're designed to be forgiving from a point of view of retaining ball speed from all parts of the face, and of which you see in the first initial heat map, you saw it does a mighty fine job of keeping ball speed up from weird and wonderful spots. It's not when you start measuring the distance factor, how much actual distance it loses from off-center hits, that you actually see how modern day drivers work. And so you can see the difference between this MOI chat about the retention of ball speed chat against what it actually means when you start measuring physical distance loss. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go on and hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button. YouTube likes so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It is the best button of the lot because it's great for the channel if you could subscribe. So thank you. Next, that one is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will let you know next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.